camping with a twist, 2 unique ways to tour the Poconos this season, plus looking back 67 years to a story of survival.
The organic farm turned performance stage. Great Wolf Lodge is growing and growing, and playing 2 more signature golf holes right here in the Poconos.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the August edition of Pocono Mountains Magazine. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Hamill.
And I'm Brianna Strunk. Event season is still in full swing here in the Pocono Mountains. We are at the Pocono Raceway, where thousands upon thousands of fans are here for the big NASCAR weekend. 4 action-packed events, all within 3 days. And this is just one of the many great seasonal events happening right here in the Poconos.
Yeah, Brianna, we're heading into fair and festival season as well, and there's so much coming up on the show, including a big expansion at one of the water parks here in the Poconos, as well as some tours that you can get out there in the 4 counties of the Poconos this year.
But first, let's check out how the Poconos have been making the news lately.
We want to bring music and entertainment and cultural events to the community.
Calling all country music fans, Cowboy Luau is coming to the Poconos next month, headlined by Brantley Gilbert and Brett Young. WBRE-TV spoke with the new owners of this outdoor venue, now called Poconos Park. This will be the first concert put on under the new name and ownership.
Jim Thorpe is home to a new stop on the Pocono Beverage Trail. Nomad Distilling cut the ribbon on its new tasting room location on Race Street. WFMZ 69 News had the story.
The owners say the new place on Race Street offers events and classes, and the spirits are locally sourced.
Speaking of Jim Thorpe the athlete has been reinstated as the sole winner of the decathlon and pentathlon at the 1912 Stockholm Games. As explained in this story from the New York Times, he was stripped of the title after becoming the first Native American to secure an Olympic gold medal for the United States. Known as one of the greatest athletes of all time, he is laid to rest in the borough of Jim Thorpe, a picturesque and award-winning small town here in the Poconos.
The Pocono Record picked up the story on the new Pocono Mountains travel guide released this summer in both print and digital. The guide has info on small towns, things to do, places to stay and eat, plus the all-new Pocono Beverage Trail experience.
There's over 400 million people alone in African communities that are water scarce.
As reported by WNEP-TV, the African-themed Kalahari Resorts and Conventions is on a mission to provide clean water to communities in Africa. Guests at each of Kalahari's locations, including here in the Poconos, are being asked to donate toward the cause. The indoor water park's founders will match the first $1 million raised.
Great Wolf Lodge here in the Pocono Mountains has been here since 2005. That's when the company invested over $100 million here in the Pocono Mountains, and now there's more construction happening at Great Wolf Lodge. 200 plus family suites coming, and an expansion to the indoor and outdoor water parks, as well as a whole new restaurant. Investment this time around about the same as back in 2005, and that means this Great Wolf Lodge destination is going to be the second largest in the company's portfolio countrywide.
3, 2, 1.
One of the biggest single draws to the Pocono Mountains is about to get even bigger. Construction crews are building onto Great Wolf Lodge, the water park resort just a short drive from Philly and New York.
A drive-to destination was what people were seeking, and we're right in that sweet spot.
Great Wolf's top dog made the trip for the announcement, which includes a 200-room tower of family suites and a new restaurant experience called Fireside. The indoor water park is getting new slides as well, and the outdoor pool, an upgrade, all with the idea that this is the place where families can strengthen their pack.
I think we're really seeing a surge in demand because of those 2 phenomena. 1, the sort of coming out of lockdown, but 2, the desire to do stuff as a family and make those memories together.
Families like the Sharps from Rochester, coming here since 2010. The kids growing up here year after year.
Then the Sharp family, thank you very much. They've been coming since 2010. Some of them weren't even born yet. It's super exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really fun how they did like the tipping buckets and it was blue sand like a waterfall. That was really cool.
Yeah, we're real excited. Can't believe how big it's going to be, so it's pretty amazing.
The expansion, in addition to 30 woodland villas already announced, will bring the room count to more than 600.
Because of Great Wolf Lodge, we really credit the resurgence of the Pocono Mountains and the product that we're looking at right now to Great Wolf Lodge. And we are so grateful for them that they selected the Pocono Mountains, because we are definitely on an upswing right now in a very, very big way.
Even Visit PA, the state's tourism office, sees just how massive this news is for the region and Pennsylvania as a whole.
We have one of the largest tourism economies in the nation here in Pennsylvania, with visitors injecting well over $40 billion into the state's economy each year, which in return helps fund transportation, infrastructure, education, and public safety programs.
And the Great Wolf family is banking on families like the Sharps to keep coming, plus many more families like them.
We feel at home, absolutely. We feel like this is our second family. We're on vacation, but we haven't left home.
So on one side of Great Wolf Lodge in the Pocono Mountains, 200 plus new family suites, a new restaurant experience, and an expanded indoor and outdoor water park. And on the other side, already announced, 30 new woodland villas. That means for countless families visiting here, their experience is just going to get better and better. Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network.
We're going camping in the Poconos, but not in a traditional way. Coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine, find out why this place is so unique.
Coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine, we are making putts here at some of the signature holes around the Poconos, including right here at Shawnee Inn and Golf Resort. You're not going to want to miss this one. Coming up after this.
Jim Hamill of Brianna's Trunk will be right back with more Pocono Mountains Magazine. A special thanks to our sponsors, St. Luke's Monroe Campus, East Stroudsburg University, and Lehigh Valley Hospital, Pocono.
The best stories come from people you know.
Hi, Jim and Brianna.
Hello there.
And at the Pocono Television Network, we know the Pocono Mountains.
Saw you at the festival. Great job.
Thanks.
PTN spends each and every day updating you on what's happening across the entire region.
Hey, I shared your post.
Thanks very much.
So watch us on cable, streaming, and online.
We love what you guys on PTN.
Us too.
Go to PoconoTelevision.com. PTN is everywhere you are.
You know, he's been pacing all day long.
And he keeps asking, what are we going to do about inflation? Are you catching him pacing out there?
Oh, we got him.
We've got to come up with a plan.
Pocono's vacation is such a value.
We'll make the guide free.
Hasn't it always been free?
Not now. He's on a roll.
Value, easy drive. We could beat the inflation.
Yeah, beat vacation inflation.
For your free guide, go to PoconoMountains.com.
Today, we're going camping in the Poconos, but this isn't a tent and it isn't an RV. To see why this place is so unique, you have to check it out from the outside. It is so cool, you won't be able to contain yourself.
Welcome to Cantel Poconos, right here in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. We have glamping here. We have various size cabins and tiny homes available to rent, as well as 40-foot containers. They are produced down in Florida and shipped up to us. Our glamptainers, as well as our cabins and our tiny homes, are fully functional with heat and air conditioning. We have televisions in every unit, and we have Wi-Fi. So you're camping in the woods, but in style. Some of our most popular cabins and glamptainers include Sunshine, which is a 40-foot container and can sleep 4. We have Speedway here, which is related to NASCAR and racing. We have Nittany, which is related obviously to Penn State University right here in Pennsylvania. And we also have Pinstripe, which is related and associated with New York Yankees. Camptel Poconos has plenty of amenities on hand on our property. We have hot tubs. We have a paintball skirmish set up, and we have a full gym with a sauna. We have a community fire pit on the property that has a life-size chess game. We have cornhole. We also have horseshoes and bocce ball. We have a restaurant and a bar called The Canteen. It will be available to public as well as guests. It will be serving breakfast, lunch, dinner, and there is a full bar. Camptel Poconos opened in August of 2021. We are close to Pocono Raceway, Hickory Run State Park, and Pocono whitewater rafting. Camptel Poconos is open year-round, not just seasonally. So you can come in and experience the summer with hiking. You can come in the winter time and possibly be snowed in the comfort of your own cabin. For winter lodging, it's perfect that we are very close to Jack Frost and Big Boulder.
Book your stay any time of the year on CamptelPoconos.com. While there, check out all 25 rental units with even more to come. All right, now I'm excited to spend some time in my favorite place here, the Pocono Raceway inspired tiny home. We'll see you later. For the Pocono Television Network, I'm Brianna Strump.
Hey everyone, it's Jim Hamill again, playing some of the signature golf holes right here in the Pocono Mountains, including historic Shawnee Inn and Golf Resort here. This place is over 100 years old, and the likes of Sam Snead, Walter Hagen, and Arnie Palmer have played here. So we're gonna tee off on a par 3 across the Delaware River today with the pro here, Nick, and show you how it's done. Come on along. All right, Shawnee Inn and Golf Resort here on the Delaware River, and we're about to tee off on number 7, the signature hole here at this historic course, a par 3 over the Delaware River. And to show us how it's done, head golf pro Nick Lucier here is going to show us how it's done. Tell me about hole number 7 here.
Yeah,
it's unique, right?
7 blue here. It's a traditional hole here at Shawnee. The layout has not changed. We have a false front on the front, in which we're going to try and get a little deeper than we normally get it. So grab an extra club, make sure we get it far enough.
All right, show us how it's done, my man.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Setting it pretty out there, Nick. Nice shot, my man.
Thank you very much.
Very nice. I'll see if I can do just as well. Par 3s are great holes to test your accuracy, especially with your irons. Now, Nick, thank goodness, told us to take an extra club at this hole because we don't want to end up in the drink. A little lengthy, but that's okay. I'm still dancing right now. Let's go putt out. This is always a joy being above the hole, so I'm gonna have to hit this with just enough speed to get down the hill, but not too far past the hole. A little par action today.
Nicely done.
Thank you very much. Your turn. Nice par as well from the pro.
Thank you.
Nick, thanks for having us out today. Tell
pleasure.
us more how to find out more about the golf course.
Yeah,
here.
how to find out more, go to ShawneeInnandGolfResort.com. Please visit our golf page. You'll see online tee times there, different rates every day, and appreciate coming by.
Absolutely. On to the next course. Have a great rest of your summer, my man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Too.
All right, from the historic Shawnee to right here at Split Rock Country Club. This course is 18 holes, and this one, number 11, its signature hole, is a beauty. A par 5, more than 500 yards, and you gotta land your tee shot pretty well. So we're gonna play with some of the employees here. These guys work here. Tell me your names, guys.
Matt. I'm Jake. I'm Bryden.
All right, so who's up first, guys? Who's gonna show me the ropes? All right. I heard nice shot. Oh, that was a great putt. Solid hole, gentlemen. Thank you for playing today. We appreciate it. It's a tough hole, and you just can't go long on that second shot. Thanks for watching this segment of signature golf holes throughout the Pocono Mountains on Pocono Mountains Magazine. I'm Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network.
A unique way to explore the Poconos, going back to its historic roots. Coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
Coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine, this farm along the Delaware River each and every summer gets transformed into a stage for a play that's running 10 years long.
Really gesture.
We all have our favorite places.
It could be a gorgeous view,
A walk in the sun along one of our shorelines.
visiting one of our parks, or even family fun water parks.
Or our cool free stuff like Boulder Field.
Maybe a boulder and a bite.
We call your favorite places our Pocono places.
For offers and deals, visit PoconoMountains.com/offers. A wise person once said, the best things in life are free.
Well, they were right.
Come get your best.
In the Pocono Mountains, visit PoconoMountains.com.
Today we're taking a tour around one of the most scenic parts of the Poconos, not by car, train, or plane, but rather by trolley. Are we ready? Yeah! The trolley was once an important part of public transportation in the Delaware Water Gap area. Now, a century later, it's back and operating from the same spot. Only this time, not to transport tourists, but primarily to teach them.
Hello everyone, I'm Pocono Joe. I'll be your Pocono tour guide today.
The Pocono Historic Trolley Tour takes riders to local landmarks, including the Shawnee Inn and Golf Resort, which hosted celebrities like Jackie Gleason, Arnold Palmer, and Lucille Ball. Swing by the iconic Shawnee Playhouse and the Deerhead Inn, the country's oldest continuously running jazz club, where the legendary Bob Dorough of Schoolhouse Rock often performed. Take a brief break in the borough of Portland, where you'll explore shops and take in views of the Delaware River.
Well, we saw it in an ad in one of the Pocono Mountains magazines. And so we called this morning and said, "Are you running?" And they said, "Absolutely." So we came down and checked it out and got on.
The Waring Blender.
The narrated tours, offered by Pocono Day Tripper, are now in their second season, but just began operating from one of the original trolley stops at the Castle Inn, a once popular and grand resort in Delaware Water Gap.
It's a challenge at best to do what I did, but it's so rewarding when I see all these smiling faces coming off and they tell me how much they enjoyed the tour and how much they enjoyed the history of the tour. That brings a lot to me. That means everything to me.
Built in 1906, the Castle Inn was the area's first resort with running spring water and electricity. It also served as a training camp for big-name boxers like James Braddock, known as Cinderella Man. After the inn closed, the famous Fred Waring, who you might associate with the Waring Blender and the Pennsylvanians, ran his music empire from here. Eventually, the property became abandoned until 2005.
We've been working tirelessly to restore it back to its old self, and at any time when people come and visit, they'll see a project going on. It's kind of a living museum.
Now on select days, you can take an official tour around the Castle Inn and step outside to board the trolley.
To have the trolley back means a great deal to us because it was a part of the history of the Castle Inn.
Thanks to a nearby train station, Delaware Water Gap was once the country's second most popular inland destination, hosting 500,000 tourists each year. The trolley line ran locally among dozens of inns and hotels through 1928.
Awesome tour, awesome area. I mean, I definitely recommend for anyone that wants to learn about the area, jump on the tour, come visit the Poconos. It's pretty cool.
So in Delaware Water Gap, there was a lot of copper mining.
The tour teaches more than just local history. It also serves to give visitors ideas about places to explore in the Poconos, all from the comfort of this recently refurbished open-air trolley.
We hope everybody comes and supports it, because that's the only way it's going to stay around. As long as everybody comes and rides it and supports it, then it will stay around.
The hour-long tour wraps up back here at the Castle Inn, where you can end on a sweet note in this vintage ice cream shop restored from the 1900s. In addition to the historic trolley tours, you can also board a trolley for a hop-on, hop-off wine tour or even a brew tour. Find more information on PoconoDaytripper.com. For the Pocono Television Network, I'm Brianna Strunk.
Hey everyone, it's Jim Hamill here at an organic farm north of Honesdale in the beautiful Poconos, where this farm each and every summer is turned into a stage for Farm Arts Collective and their annual performance of Dream on the Farm. On this summer's eve, rehearsal for a week-long of shows in August is underway inside this balmy greenhouse. The original work, Dream on the Farm, is part of a 10-year-long series of performances about climate change at Will-O-Wisp Organic Farm along the Delaware River.
It's been really a galvanizing experience, I think, for the community and for our actors, and we're also farmers. A lot of the people in our company are also working here at Will-O-Wisp Organic Farm.
Tanis Kowalczyk directs this year's installment, Tavern at the Edge of the World. Set in 2062, the Tavern is a place of refuge from a world in climate crisis.
Yeah, I think the experience for people when they come to see Dream on the Farm is that they're not only going to see a theater performance, but they're going to a beautiful location where they're reminded of what can be lost, you know, what we have at stake, which is a food source, which is a clean water, and clean water right next to us at the Delaware River.
And go please.
Somebody somewhere told me once that time is an illusion.
We devise all of this, we write it all ourselves, all the music is original, so we've been really working in earnest since January.
Jess Beveridge is back in character for this year's Dream on the Farm, along with her fellow performers. For the cast and crew, anticipation is mounting.
There's a lot of excitement, for sure. There's a little bit of anxiety, as there always is when we're coming up to a show.
Last year's performance even garnered some publicity from the New York Times, featuring the artists and farmers who aim to entertain and provoke thought, as well as action.
We had a really nice story in the New York Times last summer, great photo essay. It's just really nice that people are starting to learn about it. It's letting us attract really interesting artists and people who want to get involved, scientists who want to share their information and knowledge.
If you missed this year's performance on the farm, there will be more, rounding out the 10-year-long Decalogue. In the meantime, Farm Arts Collective will continue doing what it does to encourage action, even the smallest of steps, to help battle a large issue.
I think if everyone just does something when they leave, they set up a recycling or they set up a compost or they read more of whatever they need to read or be informed about something different. I think if someone does something and leaves with motivation to do something about this, then I think we did our job.
If you want to learn more or catch a performance, head to farmartscollective.org. Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network.
Still ahead, learn all about Monroe County's largest single-event fundraiser coming up next month. And royal connections and millionaire influence. Find out why thousands of people visit this historic landmark every year.
East Stroudsburg University. Dozens of degree opportunities, taught by exceptional faculty. Exciting campus life and the beauty of the Poconos. ESU, where everything you want is closer than you think.
When kid stuff was kid stuff. Remember those days? We do. Visit PoconoMountains.com.
Hello everyone, welcome back to this edition of Pocono Mountains Magazine. I'm Brianna Strunk. For this next segment, we are at Mount Airy Casino Resort in the beautiful and newly expanded event and conference space, talking about a really exciting event that is coming up right here next month, the Pocono Mountains Community Fundraiser, now in its 19th year. This is Monroe County's single largest event fundraiser, which is a huge deal for our community here. Here to talk all about it is Philip St. James with Santa Fe. We have Lauren Peterson, Executive Director of Women's Resources of Monroe County, and Lyman Winter with the Frogtown Chop House, one of our favorite restaurants here in the Poconos. And we'll explain why you're here coming up in just a minute. But first, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Absolutely.
And thank you to Mount Airy as well for hosting this segment here today. Let's start with Philip. Tell us all about the Pocono Mountains Community Fundraiser.
So the Pocono Mountains Community Fundraiser is one of the largest fundraisers that's taken place here. And it's been something that's been going on, as you mentioned, for the last 18 years. We're in our 19th year. And it is a fundraiser that people really like because all the proceeds that are raised, 100% of those proceeds go back into the community to support organizations like the Women's Resource Center. There's been lots of organizations helped over the years.
So what has been the impact over all of these years? How much has been raised? How many organizations helped?
So the impact over the last 18 years has been, we've raised $2.8 million. And we've helped approximately 40 organizations. But those 40 organizations, that might not sound like a lot, but those 40 organizations over those 18 years help thousands of people. So if you just take 1,000 people per organization, that's 40,000 people. So, you know, it's very impactful, and it's been a tremendous response from the community. Everybody looks forward to it, and we're really looking forward to it this year because we get to be together again.
And looking forward to it because we get to eat, because this theme this year is Food Fest, so different theme every year. Tell us about Food Fest.
So Food Fest actually originated from an idea I had because Mr. Chris Barrett, do you know him?
I think I know him. I've heard his name.
He actually called me, and it was towards the end of my budget, and he wanted some support, the restaurants that were in Monroe County. And I was feeling so bad that I couldn't support them because I didn't have any money left. So the next year, I decided that I wanted to do something to support the restaurants who were rebounding from the pandemic, and also helping the community to be made aware of these great restaurants that are out there. Lyman was just somebody that came into our life as Divine Intervention, who has really been so supportive and just been so special with this event because he's in that space and he knows all the restaurants, and a lot of the people are coming. A lot of the restaurants we have right now, about 16 of them that are going to be here, it's because of him. And so I'm very glad that he's in this space with us and working with us to make this successful. So it's going to be outside. It's going to be here at Mount Airy in the pavilion. So we're looking forward to it. We're really excited about it.
Well, certainly looking forward to it. And Lyman Winter with the Frogtown Chop House. Yeah, you're playing a big role in it this year, and you and more than a dozen other restaurants being able to set up a table and have the community sample your foods. How exciting is that?
It's very exciting, and my part is pretty easy. I don't know, Philip's really hyping it up, but all I did was make a couple phone calls. You know, so like the restaurant community is pretty tight-knit. All the owners get together, we dine at each other's establishments, the chefs help each other out. So I basically just sounded the alarm and said, hey, I'd like you to come out and support the community. It's hard to say no to that, right? So bring some food. They're gonna bring some of their best samples. We're gonna have a great time. And you got some powerhouses in there. The Frogtown Chop House, not to toot my own horn, but the Frogtown Chop House will be there. We have Memento, Dasaki, Sarah Street, a lot of big names. Barley Creek's gonna be there, and a lot of our friends along the way are coming. And we'd love to have more teams join up too. So I'll be hitting the road here coming up through this month, getting prepared for next month.
Maybe some people who have never been to some of these restaurants in the Poconos can come and sample the foods. That must be really special for everyone.
And that's probably the biggest benefit for the restaurants for joining up for this. Number one benefit is supporting the community and helping people in need, right? And that's where Philip steps in, and he brought me on to help gather a superstar team of restaurants to really show up for that day and put out your wares and put out your best, sort of best face forward and let people know who you are. Because there are some places on this list that not everyone knows about. So sometimes all it takes is one bite to go, wow, this is amazing. Oh, where are you? Oh, you're right in Mount Pocono? I'll see you next week.
Can't wait to do a little taste testing. And of course, we can't forget about all the organizations that this is benefiting. Women's Resources of Monroe County has received funding 5 times in past years, and we just learned that Women's Resources is now a 6th-time recipient receiving funding this year, so huge round of applause. Very exciting. Congratulations. What is this funding going to do for your organization and the clients that it serves?
Thank you so much, Brianna, and thank you, Philip and Santa Fe's, and this fantastic fundraiser that happens here in the Pocono Mountains. Women's Resources is the only domestic and sexual violence services center for all of Monroe County. We've been serving the victims and survivors in this area for over 42 years. This year, this funding is going to go towards one of the most critical resources that we provide for the community, which is our 24-hour crisis hotline. It is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and there's always a trained live crisis counselor who is there to speak to you if you need information, resources, if you want to be connected with our services, including counseling, legal advocacy, or our second most important resource, which is our shelter. And it is the only domestic violence shelter in Monroe County and one of only 2 in the entire northeastern region of Pennsylvania. We received over 2,000 hotline calls in just 1 year last year, and that is more than we've ever seen in any previous years before. So having this funding to provide this resource to help us to cover the costs of operating this, our answering service, training new crisis counselors, it's going to be absolutely critical because the need is going to continue to grow as we've seen. The hotline is the first line of defense that people have to contact and access our services, as well as other resources in the community. If we are not the right place for that person who is looking for help, we will provide them with where they can call or where they can go to receive what they need.
That hotline is such a unique and an amazing service for the community, and being a recipient 5 other years past, how has the funding helped operations?
It's absolutely critical. I mean, Women's Resources, we are a 501c3 nonprofit. We rely, especially these last couple of years when things have been tight, on the previous fundraising that we've done in other years. The Pocono Mountain Community Fundraiser has helped us support not just our hotline, but our shelter, as I've mentioned before, but also our prevention education programs in the schools and in the communities, where we're going into the schools and teaching children and students 2nd grade and up about healthy relationships, respect, consent, boundaries, and how to do healthy expressions of feelings, and all of these things that help to create healthy adults later in life.
And another organization that has received funding in the past from the Pocono Mountains Community Fundraiser is Pocono Mountains United Way, coming up on celebrating their big 80th anniversary, kicking off with a celebration coming up later next month on Saturday, September 24th. We wanted to show you a quick video. Take a look.
We've been serving Monroe County for 80 years now, and in that time, the needs have changed and evolved, but one thing remains the same, and that is the organization is here. We stand at the ready to serve the people of Monroe County.
Currently, I'm working with the 80th Anniversary Committee and just really excited to help bolster the United Way, let people know what they're working on, how they've been such a pillar of the community for the last 80 years, and how they've grown over the last 80 years, starting with just so few programs to what we have now, what they've been able to do in the last 2 years through COVID, the programs that they've been able to partner with different organizations and to be able to bring to our community, like rental assistance and the hospitality grant.
Well, I just want to congratulate United Way on its 80th anniversary. I'm flattered to be asked to impart what knowledge I have of it. I've been totally rewarded and blessed in 46 years of association. The history goes back to 1942 when they had a group of people headed by Clifford Gillum. They had about 6 or 8 agencies at that time, and they decided that they needed to support the human services in the county. That then became what known as the Red Feather. The Red Feather campaign was in the 50s. A lot of people would put on their lapel the Red Feather and so forth. There came a time when it became Monroe County United Way, and now it's Pocono Mountains United Way. So the name has changed, but the cause and what it's done is the same.
When the pandemic hit, we were trying to raise money to help the community to get through it, and the nonprofits in the community to survive. It just came out of nowhere. And so being able to serve on a committee, especially with an organization like United Way, who has their pulse on the community, who knows where the need is, and able to apply the resources in an appropriate way to that need, is very rewarding.
I think they're important to the community because they really look at the needs of the entire community. So you're looking at things proactively instead of reactively. You're talking about not just what the current needs are, but what are we projecting needs to be.
Through programs such as rental assistance, volunteer income tax assistance preparation programs, and information and referral services, we were able to touch the lives of 1 in 12 people in Monroe County last year.
Approaching the issues that are in the community can't be done alone. We have to work together, and we're better together.
T.S. Eliot once said, "What do I live for if not to make life less difficult for one another?" Our purpose here is to help others.
United Way fights for the education, financial stability, and health of every person in every community, and we're proud to do that for 80 years now.
There you have it, a great video about the Pocono Mountains United Way celebrating their 80th anniversary, a celebration event happening next month on Saturday, September 24th. But back here at the beautiful Mount Airy Casino Resort, talking all about the upcoming 19th annual Pocono Mountains Community Fundraiser. Philip with Santa Fe. Tell us how the organizations are selected each year.
So that's special too, because I want to make sure that people understand that the organizations that are selected are not by the sponsors. The organizations that are selected are, it's a committee made up of the community. So people from within the community come together every year. We have a discussion, we go over applications that have been submitted, and the community actually selects the organizations that have been selected. So if she's been a winner of 6 times, the community sees the need and sees that that's a special place.
And the community has seen the need
Yes.
for women's resources of Monroe County. Again, a 6-time recipient. Very, very exciting that you can continue doing that important work in the community. And we can't forget that the theme this year is Food Fest. So over a dozen plus restaurants will be in attendance, and you can go around to different tables and sample different foods from our amazing restaurants here in the Poconos. Lyman with the Frogtown Chop House. Tell us what to expect from you and your table.
From my table, I was very excited. I was laying in bed one night and said, I know what I'm gonna do. So I called up Jimmy at Corona Butcher, and we're gonna do a real classic surf and turf. I'm doing a colossal lump crab, blue crab, so one big colossal lump of crab, a little cocktail sauce on it, and he's gonna do a really awesome beef carpaccio. And we're gonna do like a little capers, red onion, sea salt mix that goes on top of that. So a little surf and turf for you.
Can't wait. There's a little taste of what to expect at the Pocono Mountains Community Fundraiser. Philip, if another restaurant wants to sign up, there's still time, or a local organization wants to learn how they might be able to get involved in the future, how can they do so?
Sure, you can go to the website that's on the screen right now, or contact TJ Price, and her number is also on the screen.
Philip St. James with Santa Fe, Lauren Peterson with Women's Resources of Monroe County, and Lyman Winter with the Frogtown Chop House. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And we are action-packed with events here in the Pocono Mountains next month. Coming up on Saturday, September 24th, is our annual Pick Up the Poconos Day, our fall cleanup being held across the Pocono Mountains. We are looking for volunteers to sign up and clean roads, rivers, parks, and trails throughout Wayne, Pike, Monroe, and Carbon counties. Sign-ups are now open. Head to pickupthepoconos.com to sign up, and there you can learn all about our overall anti-littering campaign, which to date has resulted in more than 20,000 bags of trash being picked up around our region. So once again, head to pickupthepoconos.com to sign up and learn more. More with Pocono Mountains Magazine when we return.
It just goes to show what can be done if you have the right surgeons and the right doctors.
Because I was concerned with the mass that I saw in her abdomen, I knew she just needed to go to surgery as soon as possible.
The diagnosis was one cancer appendiceal, and whatever need I would have, I knew she was going to address it. That impressed me.
At the Lehigh Valley Topper Cancer Institute, we have a team of experts who are specialty trained in their field.
Best word I can find, phenomenal.
Chris, I'm in the mood to do something.
That sounds like fun.
Yes!
22, that's the winner!
No, Chris, it's supposed to be 21.
Woo! Oh,
That was fun, right? Go to PoconoMountains.com. Some of us deal with nightlife better than others.
Jim Thorpe here in the Pocono Mountains has a rich history, and some of that history is on display inside this renowned church, where thousands of people come every year for a guided tour. Let's go get a sneak peek. Signs of elegance and wealth are everywhere you look at St. Mark's and St. John's Episcopal, built in 1869. The church was attended and well funded by 8 local millionaires who found their fortunes in the booming coal and railroad industries.
This church has stood the test of time. It has, of course, seen the heyday of the Industrial Revolution, World War I, World War II, and of course the post-World War boom and economy.
153 years later, this remains a fully functioning church. When Sunday services aren't in session, these passionate tour guides start their own sermon of sorts.
Many of the articles and artifacts that we see here in our church today are all original. They date back to an era when coal was king and the Gilded Age ruled.
And the name of this window is called Abide With Us.
Nowhere else in America can you get this close to 2 Tiffany stained glass windows, together worth more than $5 million when last appraised in the 1990s. And behind the altar, this raredos has royal connections. Its artist was given the green light by Queen Victoria herself to visit and replicate the one in St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle.
And it is sculpted with such precision that you'll see a darker colored stone right next to a lighter colored stone and absolutely no seam between the 2 pieces.
The church has a strong foundation built into the side of Flagstaff Mountain. From this 24-karat gold leaf illumination on the ceiling to the expensive floors beneath your feet, luxury spans top to bottom.
So just in this sanctuary, we have $10 million worth of mitten tiles.
So this is a 1912 Otis birdcage elevator.
The tour touches on legendary tales and truths, including a story about Mary Packer Cummings, one of the church's millionaire members. She donated money to build this elevator and wanted to be first to ride in it.
And she got her wish, but not quite like she planned. So she died before it was completed. So she was actually the first casket to ride in the elevator.
Tours of this National Historic Landmark are offered seasonally and cost $5 per person. That money goes back to preserving the church and its history. It's one of the unique ways to explore and learn about Jim Thorpe, a great small town here in the Poconos.
I would have to describe it as a gem box located in the mountains here of Carbon County.
And no longer just for millionaires, but rich with offerings for all. For the Pocono Television Network, I'm Brianna Strunk. Coming up, this month marks 67 years since back-to-back hurricanes Connie, then Diane, ravaged the East Coast. Hear the miraculous story of one family who survived it.
Extraordinary care, outstanding patient experience, accessible services. When you choose St. Luke's Monroe campus, you choose compassionate care delivered by our highly trained staff of healthcare professionals, all powered by the strength of St. Luke's University Health Network.
We all need a vacation.
There's so much right here in the Poconos.
Walks in the sun along one of our shorelines.
Visiting parks, or even family fun water parks.
Our cool free stuff, like Boulder Field.
Get away from it all, and you can do it close to home.
The Poconos, an easy drive for an amazing vacation.
And it's a good value. For offers and deals, please visit us at poconomountains.com/offers.
This month marks 67 years since back-to-back hurricanes, Connie, then Diane, ravaged the East Coast, killing hundreds of people, dozens here in the Poconos. Known as the Great Flood of '55, communities along the Delaware River and any waterway were hit especially hard. Roads, bridges, houses, and vehicles all swept away. And now, on the 67th anniversary of that historic event, you're about to hear from a family who survived it. Their miraculous story unfolded just down this road at a place where you'll see Mother Nature at her very best and worst. This is Bob Beatty's escape from everyday life, his home away from home.
The neat thing about being at the foot of the mountain is that it's very deep. The water is very deep here. It doesn't matter the time of year. So there's plenty of fishing, plenty of swimming.
He's the third generation owner of this log cabin near East Stroudsburg and its private backyard along the Bushkill Creek. Bob's grandmother bought the property in 1952 as a summer home. And for the last 70 years, family and friends from near and far have come here for a relaxing getaway in the Pocono Mountains.
We've been able to build memories here for generation after generation. I can look around here and see things that are slightly different than they were when I grew up, and yet in a lot of cases, very much the same.
But the kind of memories this creek holds, well, it all depends who you ask.
You can still see I'm standing in water up above my ankles.
The Painter family, friends of Bob's grandmother, vacationed at the cabin in August of 1955. Now in his late 90s, Hervey Painter remembers turning on the radio during that trip for some rainy day entertainment while playing cards.
They said there's a flood in the Poconos. And we didn't know anything about it. And we sort of perked up a bit and looked out, and the water was probably up to the doorstep.
As day turned to night, water swallowed up the first, then second floor. The Painters grabbed a watermelon from the floating fridge and tore off a door to use as a raft. All 8 crawled out this window and up to the roof, where they waited and prayed for 2 days.
Of course, we could see pieces of houses floating by and a lot of propane gas tanks floating by, and some of them had a valve open, I guess, because every time they come up out of the water, they make a big hissing sound. And then the waves were flash. The waves were probably 4 or 5 feet high to the other house.
Musselman's. Renee was just 5 when she and her 3-year-old sister were up on that roof. Years later, she recorded her memories in a journal.
We tried making SOS signals on the roof out of Venetian blinds. We took off the cabin's windows. We took Venetian blinds down because we saw a helicopter, but we didn't succeed in getting anyone's attention.
Eventually, the water receded and the painters returned home, without belongings, but with their lives. At one point, Hervey's brother even hitched a ride back to Pottstown, Pennsylvania in a hearse. And back at the cabin, the damage left behind was massive.
We had 3 cars there, and we have photographs here to show they got all smashed up against the trees and so forth. And my brother Bruce had a brand new, he was just a teenager, and he had a brand new Buick convertible. That was the pride of his life. It got all smashed up.
Remarkably, this was the only cabin within the immediate area that stayed intact. This fireplace is all that remains of the neighboring cabin, which has since been rebuilt using the original logs. Today, Bob continuously monitors the water levels. He has made minor updates to the cabin recently, adding modern comforts in the kitchen and living room. The family is even creating an educational book about the cabin, so visiting relatives and friends will always know its history.
It's sort of part of the fabric of what the cabin is, what it's been, and what it will always be in some ways.
While time stands still here, the creek does not. A peaceful yet powerful force, bringing people together for generations to come. For the Pocono Television Network, I'm Brianna Strunk. From the creek to camping, we are back here at Pocono Raceway, the big NASCAR weekend.
Yeah, Brianna, there's a lot of summer left in store too for all the visitors to the Poconos, including these guys from North Carolina and New Jersey up atop their bus. Thanks for having us, guys. And don't forget too, in the fall, September 24th, we're holding Pick Up the Poconos Day. Sign up online at pickupthepoconos.com.
Thanks so much for tuning in for this August edition of Pocono Mountains Magazine. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the Pocono Tourism YouTube channel and click the bell button below to be the first to watch new videos. You can also click the link on the screen to watch more episodes of Pocono Mountains Magazine.